Hello everybody and welcome back to the funniest tweets. Today we are going to be diving in to the British Grand Prix. I have not recovered. I was there this weekend. You would have seen if you've watched the podcast or seen any of our social medias. We were there and I feel so incredibly grateful, just lucky to have been at that event. Just the whole thing was so utterly special. I will never forget that until the day I die. That race weekend, the ending, just, oh, goodness gracious me. And what a way to sum it all up, to finish off the weekend, than right here with funniest tweets. Let's dive into your memes. McLaren fumble. Yep, McLaren fans, you might want to just be prepared. Put your seatbelt on for this segment because, of course, we are going to discuss McLaren, their strategy, and the memes that you have made from them. The first one, Rob the Bob. Piastri fans, Ferrari fans, this is where I come to cry. Oscar Piastri, I feel so sorry for. My heart bleeds for this man. He is a sweet individual, isn't he? He is so calm, so composed. I wonder if it will stay that way, if this is what happens more frequently, because there's only so much a human being can take in terms of disappointment. But this one, McLaren unfortunately let him down, made the wrong decision, and he was completely screwed by it. Would he have won the race? Who knows? But he finished 12.4 seconds off the lead and lost pretty much 20 seconds, maybe 19, through staying out for one extra lap. Pain. At Panda 46124476, McLaren be like. Now, I know we all have the benefit of hindsight, but I think surely most people, either there or shouting at their television, were saying, McLaren, why have you not boxed Piastri? Why? Why not? The rain was falling hard, and they didn't pit Oscar. Double stack, that's what Mercedes did. Yes, McLaren would have lost a bit more time, but they needed to. They literally needed to pit him, and I hope for McLaren fans' sake, for all of you around the world, there are a lot of you, that this doesn't become a trend, because I know from experience that strategy, mainly with Ferrari, it hurts when it doesn't go right, especially at the British Grand Prix in 2022. Why didn't they pit Leclerc? At Lando no Riz. Just before the rain, Oscar Piastri, maybe I am Michael Schumacher. The guy was flying. Just when he got screwed over, Lando comes into this. He was 6/10 behind his teammate. One more lap of Lando not going into the pits for Inters. I think Oscar Piastri takes the lead. I don't know if it's his driving style and the fact that he is quite aggressive, isn't he, on his tyres? And it does sometimes hurt him where he'll just deg a little bit too much on his tyres. But I think in these conditions, for some reason, Oscar Piastri, he was cooking. He was... What could have been, eh? Like, literally, there was about 5 different drivers that could have won the British Grand Prix, and Oscar was one of them. At Badger Sprite, we have softs to cover Lewis, mediums to cover Max. Oh, I love golden retrievers, as you will already know. This is the thing that I mentioned in the podcast that I had a problem with, yeah? The fact that McLaren, rather than going, we're going to go on the mediums because we think it's the best tyre, do you agree? Very clear line of communication. Lando can decide yes or no. Instead, Lando gets fed, do you want to cover Lewis on the soft tyres or Max Verstappen on the mediums? Now, for me, I know that Lando's in the pits, right? No, he's in the car. He knows what he feels. So there is driver feedback necessary, and I get why McLaren asked. But he doesn't know how quick Max is behind. He'll, of course, see potentially him in his mirrors and whatnot, but the team have everything they need to know. Everything in all these strands of data. They had to be more precise and concise with their communication, because Lando was like, oh, well, in his head, obviously, he's trying to win the Grand Prix. He's got unbelievable amount of pressure on him, and he's being told, do we hit them or them? He's obviously going to say Lewis because he thinks he's fighting Lewis, probably. But in hindsight, he said after the race that McLarens are terrible on the soft tyres. And they couldn't believe it in the post-race cool-down room, could they? Hamilton especially was like, why don't you go on the mediums? You had a fresh set. At Alexandra Killian, 1-2 or Ferrari strategy? McLaren. Oh, good. I do love the memes that have been made here. Where it's not like McLaren can just be singled out for making mistakes and we just, make some pictures with memes. And no, the Ferrari are always thrown in there, aren't they? Always thrown in. Mainly because, yes, also they were terrible at the British Grand Prix, and we'll get on to that. But McLaren definitely gave Ferrari a run for their money. At Daryl Mukriz, McLaren strategy today, be like, I think I forgot something. Was important. Yeah, Piastri. Oscar, he's going to get there. I believe it. He's going to get a victory this year. We've had 6 different winners in 12 races. That is an unbelievable stat considering what happened in Bahrain. I cannot get over how good this season has been. And Max is like completely and utterly clear in the championship. It's so weird that Max is so clear and yet we've had so many amazing races. Just Max Verstappen things. At F1_diff, poor boy, my team failed me. First time? Hopefully, the only time Oscar... Well, no, Oscar... has he been screwed over before? Probably not as bad as this. Not as bad as this. And I hope for Oscar's sake, because there's a lot of fans of Oscar. He even did a shoey, didn't he? It's on the Silverstone main stage after that whole disaster. So fair play for him to just continue to smile and carry on having fun, considering he got robbed of another Silverstone podium that wasn't his fault. At Stave31135401 with the final McLaren meme. Engineering team, drivers, yeah. The thing is, right, McLaren have got it. Like, they've got almost everything. They've got an amazing team around them. They've got amazing drivers. They've got a great car. A car that arguably has been the best for a little while now. And they've won 1 race when they could have won 6, 7, had things gone a little bit more their way. But the thing is, they were in the fight for winning and they've only won 1. They need to up their level. They're not underdogs anymore. They need to up their level to what Red Bull achieve when it comes to strategy decisions, because they were amazing with Verstappen at the British Grand Prix. They brought him right back in it because they were clear with their instructions and they were the right calls. Sometimes, yes, you can make a mistake, but with both drivers, Leclerc. Oh, we've got another Charles Leclerc section. Aren't we just buzzing for that, hey? So, of course, when you're at a Grand Prix, you don't really get the full picture, right? You don't get the full picture of what's going on. You try and piece it together as much as possible. And yet, when I saw, because I was literally just after Stowe, so I can see when the cars were going into the pits. When I saw Charles dive into the pits, I knew I had just witnessed Ferrari strategy 2022. At _Hotoffy_, Leclerc points, lap 21. He had just got through on Lance Stroll. He had been stuck there for a good while behind old Lancey boy in the Aston Martin. He finally made a move and was pushing on to try and catch up to Sainz and the rest of the drivers. And then they went, no, Hail Mary, boom, let's win this race with the intermediates when a monsoon drops. Tommy was quite protective of Ferrari in some ways, saying, why not? Well, why not? Because I don't want to see Leclerc lapped 3 times in the last 4 races. That is correct. Since Monaco, he has been lapped 3 times. After Monaco, I was dreaming. Started the delirium all over again. And then Ferrari thought, you know what, we've got a poor car. Let's throw in a little bit of terrible strategy as well. Lovely. This one's brilliant. Soft left tyre. At least one of the Ferraris in the point. Carlos is living his best life. Charles is drowning. This ain't about it. I don't know why this tickled me so much, but it's a brilliant meme. And I'm not sure. Well, I mean, look, Ferrari have accidentally favoured Carlos once before. Accidentally, I don't know. I mean, obviously, when Carlos won Silverstone, they left Charles out on old hard tyres. I'm over that, obviously. And then, of course, Charles being used as the kind of test subject to go and try out the Inters as well. Just let's just score some points again, Ferrari. Let's be that efficient team that we were praising in the first half of the season. They're the new Mercedes, always picking up points. Just change it now. Make it better, please. At Delboy JH, Charles Leclerc and Perez racing to see who can do worse. Those two had an absolutely abysmal race with their strategy, because obviously both of them went on the intermediates. Perez started from the pit lane, so he was pretty screwed no matter what. And I can understand the roll of the dice from Red Bull with Perez, because why not? And also gives data to Verstappen of whether the Inter starts to fire up. But they, oh my God, didn't Perez finish 2 laps down? That is absolutely abysmal. Hamilton wins. We had to have a little segment, didn't we, for Lewis Hamilton winning, Sir Lewis Hamilton winning, because what an emotional, beautiful occasion that was. Just spine-tingling, just seeing him so emotional after 104 victories. I prayed that he'd get another race victory after this massive drought, and it happened. And you could not have picked a better venue for him to come back and win after 2.5 years. Just simply stunning. At Saura BHD Paris, a well-deserved win for Lewis Hamilton. I can't believe he didn't cry during the Titanic. Did men even have feelings? We were all finished when it came to him, head in hands, just crying. Fully crying down the team radio, crying in his dad's arms, like, oh my God, Drive to Survive. Emotional episode locked in. At Shesmai Hanona, live footage of Lewis's search history. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have said that at the start of the season, and it does chop and change, and I'm sure Ferrari will bounce back eventually. Can you see how much confidence I'm saying that with? But also, yes, I'm sure Lewis is wondering, have Mercedes come good just as I'm leaving? Because Mercedes have been better now. They're towards the front. They're fighting for wins. They've won the last 2 races through, whatever circumstances, but they've won the last 2 races. And Ferrari have been nowhere. Imagine that. Imagine if he was like, actually, no, Mercedes, I'm going to stay. Not going to happen, but imagine. At Matzella, watching Lewis get emotional about his magical win at Silverstone. How can you not be romantic about Formula 1? How can you not love Formula 1? After moments like that, where you see a driver that is the most decorated Formula 1 sportsman get emotional, cry, break down, the release of emotion, the doubt that he said he had over those 2.5 years. How can you not love Formula 1? The story that constantly just unfolds before your eyes when those lights go out. You have no idea what's going to happen every single time. It's the best sport in the world. And that was right up there with one of the best storylines. Honourable mentions. At Mr. Bear 15, F1 TV direction in the last few laps. Powerfully, Mr. Bean. I'll take it. I will absolutely be up for seeing Rowan Atkinson as much as possible. Mr. Bean is the GOAT. I will not hear any slander for Mr. Bean. If we saw 52 laps of Mr. Bean over that Grand Prix, no, actually, no, Mr. Bean does not eclipse what we saw for that British Grand Prix. But he has allowed his screen time because he loves it and he's a legend. At Channers_Maiden, Hulkenberg getting points whilst everyone is focusing on Hamilton. Nico Hulkenberg, what a man. What a performance. P6 in Austria and at Silverstone. The guy is chefing it up. He has scored more points. This is an insane stat that I've seen. He has scored more points in the last 2 races than Perez in the last 6. Just let that sink in. 6 races, Perez has scored less than Hulk in 2. Not good. At Darren 761536446, Drama F1 2024. In every way, this season is just such a banger. And I love it. It does matter. I would love to see a championship fight. Don't get me wrong. It would turn things up another level. But right now, the level is still very, very good. Is it not? Let me know. Are you enjoying this season? Because I certainly am. I haven't done a little shout out to subscribe, so please do. We're trying to hit 500,000 subs, and if you are loving the content, if you're loving the podcasts, it's one small thing that we ask just to help us reach beautiful milestones. It really does help us, so please subscribe to the P1 channel. This season's a banger, so you want to follow with me and Tommy, don't you? At Formula Law 1, Gasly, after receiving a 50-place penalty, qualifying in P20 anyway, then not even starting the race due to an issue with the car. Alpine, we are so sorry for speaking to both of your drivers on the run-up to this weekend, and they finished just so far behind, it's disgusting. So we take fault for that. It's not you, it's us. Hungary will be better for you. Well, nothing can probably get worse than what Silverstone was. Okay, we are here with our beautiful, cold-ridden, deep-voiced man, Tom Bellingham, otherwise known as Dom Deepingham. Talk to us, Tommy.
Hello. I'm guessing you want my Tommy Stacey tweet.
Yeah, I do as well, but I thought it was going to be deeper. That your voice was much deeper when we just started before we started recording. Anyway, what's the funniest, Tommiest, tastiest tweet from EA and F124? Hit me.
It is from Lumixion, and they have put to very good use a beautiful photo that I took of you in hospitality when Leclerc got knocked out, and it's the classic meme of man who thought he'd lost all hope loses last additional hope. It's a classic, and I always love it when people relate it to a little bit of Matt P1 Tommy as well, so good work, Lumixion.
Yeah, beautiful work from Lumixion, even though it was at the expense of my own pain and misery. And do I feel okay about you winning some sort of prize an F124? For that, we'll move on. Thank you, Lumixion. You are a Twitch goat anyway. So thank you so much, everybody. And Tommy, thank you to you. Hope you feel better. Wrap yourself up in cotton wool, and maybe we will see you for driver ratings. And if not, then oh no. Bye. Right, that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the funniest tweets to the British Grand Prix. Goodness gracious me, I'm just going to be smiling for a few more days, I am sure, whilst I process what has gone on. Thank you again to each and every one of you that turned up to our live show at Silverstone. It's utterly unbelievable. I can't fathom that you guys love the podcast and will stand in the rain to watch me and Tommy, just plebs, talk Formula One. Genuinely, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I know Tommy does as well. We never take this job for granted. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe this is even what I get to do. I know I've done it for a few years now, but I still cannot believe it. And I hope we can do it for a lot longer. So thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!